Alright people, welcome to 3 Reasons Why with me, AJ. This is the show where I give you 3 reasons why you should watch something and 3 reasons maybe you shouldn't. And it's up to you to decide whether you're going to watch it or not. Today is The Many Saints of Newark, which was directed by Alan Taylor and written by Sopranos creator David Chase. It starred Ray LaRotta and also Michael Gandolfini playing a young Tony Soprano. Reason 1 why maybe you should watch The Many Saints of Newark is because you see Tony growing up. You see the origins of the Tony Soprano character and what he was like before he got into the mafia. Reason 2, Verga Farmiga, I hope I spelled that right. Verga Farmiga. Plays a flawless Olivia Soprano. She's absolutely fantastic as Olivia Soprano. She's got the voice down to a T, the attitude down to a T, the certain look she does are perfect. There was no one better for this role. This role could not be cast better. And in general, the actors in the movie are fantastic. They are really good. I only had one problem with one actor in this movie, which I'll tell you near the end of the video. Reason 3 why maybe you should watch The Many Saints of Newark. Now this one is a spoiler, I do warn you. You find out who killed Dickie Montesanti. I don't know if I said that right. He got killed anyway, so you're like, you know he's dead in Sopranos, so I'm not spoiling anything, but you find out who killed him. I'm not going to tell you who it was because that would be a massive spoiler and I'm not about that. But you do find out who was behind his killing. And I'm not going to say anymore, but you're going to have to watch the movie to find that one out. Now there are only 3 reasons why maybe you should watch The Many Saints of Newark. I enjoyed certain parts of the movie and there are more than 3 reasons, like basically seeing the riots, the Newark riots, basically seeing the characters as younger people, characters who have passed or we're not really in Sopranos, seeing some of them around the Sopranos characters, seeing the Sopranos characters when they're younger, which I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. But just the whole movie, if you're a Sopranos fan, is a must watch. No matter what you think at the end of it, you've got to kind of watch it if you are a massive Sopranos fan, like myself. 3 reasons why maybe you shouldn't watch The Many Saints of Newark. Now before I go into these, I just want to say that I'm a massive fan of Sopranos and I did have big expectations going into this movie and I thought that maybe I would be disappointed, and to prove I'm a massive Sopranos fan, I've still got my box set from 20 odd years ago. I've kept it and I played them. DVDs, big massive box set, it actually says 1999 on the bottom of it, but I don't think I bought it till like 2001. So yeah, that's like an original box set from when it was on TV and I really got into it. Reason 1 why maybe you shouldn't watch The Many Saints of Newark. The story is more about Dickie Montesanti instead of Tony. I actually went into the movie thinking you would see Tony's rise, but you don't really see Tony do much as a character. He's a kid basically through most of the movie, a teenager, and you don't get to see his rise, which is disappointing because I assume that, now this is off this is not off anything I've seen in Sopranos, but I assume that when Tony went into being a gangster, Dickie was the one that kind of brought him in and helped him up the ladder until he dropped the card game, and then you know he was made. But I just assumed that there'd be more of Tony, and the story is more about Dickie than Tony. And even though it was nice to see that, it just didn't really, feel that good. I hope there's a part 2. I do. I hope there's a part 2, so maybe we can carry on seeing Tony. Reason 2, and this was a big one for me. They do this weird thing with the timeline where they make Silvio and Salvador Bonpensiero like older than Tony, so he's like a teenager and they're probably in the 20s, and it's just a weird thing they've done with the timeline, because I always believed, and I think we were made to believe in Sopranos, that Silvio and Sal Bonpensiero, I'm not saying the name because it'll probably get struck by YouTube, Sal Bonpensiero would grow up with Tony. Like in series 2, in a card game, Tony talks about how it was his uncle's card game and his uncle used to chase Tony and Silvio away from the door. I think that's round about the end of series 2. So which would show you that Silvio and Tony were basically kids together. But in this movie, the timeline's kind of messed up. They also do something else with Silvio I didn't really like, but I won't go into that here. Also, we're also made to believe in Sopranos that Paulie was the only one that worked for Tony's dad. That's in the Soprano crew, because it's referenced a lot in Sopranos, especially near the end, and it's never mentioned that Silvio worked for Tony's dad, or worked for Dickie or whoever. So I think I don't understand why they altered that timeline, because those characters didn't get a massive, Silvio, you seen him the most, but they didn't get a massive story as adults. So I don't understand why they do that. Reason 4 why maybe you shouldn't watch The Sopranos, and one of the things that annoyed me with it is there's lines from Sopranos that are just thrown in there with no good reason. Like there's a funny line in Sopranos where I think it's Junior slips in the shower and he says, "Your sister's C-U-N-T." Junior says that line twice or 3 times in the movie, and one of the times I would say was relevant. One of the times was really relevant when he slips on some steps. I won't go into the rest of it, but he just, has a little fall on some steps, and he says it then. Now if it was only used that time, it would be really good, it would be done perfectly and it would have been funny, but it's just used in context, out of context, and used in daft situations. And the other line that's used is "Hop along, Kassadich." I think what's his name, Vito uses that in Sopranos, or Philly uses it to Vito, and it's used like 3 or 4 times in the movie, and it's just like they've thrown it in there just to go, oh, this was said in Sopranos, so it's getting said here 4 times. It was just a bit out of context, I thought, and a bit kind of lazy. They could have peppered it with different things at different times, done it in a way which was really clever, and it just wasn't done. Reason 4 why you shouldn't watch The Many Saints of Newark is because Corey Stoll, who played Junior Soprano, looks like my old landlord, and it kind of annoyed me, but that's more of a me problem than a you problem. You probably won't even notice that. I just want to say though, before I wrap up, that it's easier to stand here and take a few notes, watch a film, take a few notes and slag a movie off. It's very easy to do that, to be honest. It's a lot harder to actually write a movie. It's a lot harder to film it than it is to film this. So I just want to get that out there before everyone jumps down my throat and says bad stuff about me. If you want to watch more 3 reason why videos, then subscribe. There's going to be more coming soon. This is a new format I'm trying out. So subscribe, and there's going to be a video here as well you can watch. If you want to watch it, then you watch it.